All I can say is cat on a boat.
Cat. Hope you like cats.
If you like cats,
You won't now.
On a boat. and this is
actually, if you like boats or cats, you probably will not enjoy this movie.
Right.
Or you might.
There was a different introduction I wanted to do with this, but I mean, if you said there is a terminology so bad that it's good, and that's what fits with Uninvited. And I'll start by the director of this film is Greydon Clark, and I was talking to Caleb about this. Now, Greydon is just like one of the sweetest, nicest guys you could possibly meet. It's amazing. You take someone like Quentin Tarantino, who is, kind of a pervert, but he makes millions and millions of dollars. Then you take a guy like this, who just is the sweetest guy. And last films he makes are more family films. He made a family film this last time, but it's a long time coming. He started back in the 70s during the exploitation era. And then eventually, he started as an actor, to be honest with you, and then he went into directing. And, if you go back to his, I guess you would say his filmography, you'll find typical exploitations and, back in the 70s, like Satan's Cheerleaders and things like that. And then we get into Wacko in the 80s. The 80s changed for this guy. Because, the movies were blockbusters. If you looked on, in 1987, you won't even find this film. You won't find this film listed as, I don't know how it came to be. Like I said, I discovered it 2 years ago. And I said, I have to see it. I have to see it. So I've seen it several times. And like I was telling Caleb too, I'd get on the internet when I first watching movies and look for weird stuff to watch. And if I knew there was a film that a cat barfed a rat out that would eat people or bite people, I'd be like, I'm there, dude. Where do I find this film? But I never heard of it until a couple years ago. And I did see it. I was not disappointed. It was everything I hoped and wanted it to be. If you can imagine. It was just, even more about it. But like I said, I'll give you some of Greydon Clark's filmography to get you guys started who he was. Like I told Caleb, I probably could have contacted him and asked him to be on this thing. I don't know how much he charges for Google Hangout. I was very curious. But it's typical like Satan's Cheerleaders, Black Shampoo. So you got your sexploitation, your black exploitation, kind of those films. High Riders, which is motorcycle movies. All these films were basically in the 70s. And then when the 80s comes, he gets into horror films because like you can't really lose with the horror films. You cannot lose money with horror films. And of course, like he did the wacky comedy Joysticks, which is the first video game movie. But then he does Final Justice with Joe Don Baker, who he's good friends with, and which is more of like an action film. And at the time, Malta was giving people free trips to film over there, so he took advantage of that. Now this film comes about after Final Justice and after Wacko. And like I told Caleb, I wouldn't even recommend watching Wacko. It's terrible. It's disturbing. It's not even worth your time. And I said there's offensive and there's cringy. This borders on offensive and cringy. That's how bad it is. And so this film, on the other hand, it's watchable and not offensive enough to like turn your stomach. It is what it is. It's a cat that kills people or that's all it is. It's wonderful on a boat. And it costs $200,000 to make. That's all it costs.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
$75,000 went to 3 of the top actors, which included George, Clu Gallagher, who just came back from Return of the Night of the Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead. He just did that one, which was a big hit for him. So it was good luck that he got Clu Gallagher. Then of course George Kennedy, and I don't know who Alex Cord is. Don't ask me who Alex Cord is, but he is the mustache twirling guy that we see on this photo. Hi, I'm Bob Sleazy. Or Walter Graham. Hi, I'm Walter Graham Sleazy. And so Walter Graham, the $75,000 went to them. $15,000 to $20,000 went to the boat. So, and then the rest went to the other little actors, but they also had to pay for a crew to ride the boat and a crew to film the place. So just imagine, just on a shoestring budget, they did this film in, guess how many days?
Oh man, 1.
15 days. 15 days. They shot the boat on the pier. They never left the pier, but they spent one day out on sea. He had to pay the crew like $2,000 to shoot out on the sea, those scenes, and they did that in one day. So 14 days on the pier, and then like maybe a day in his swimming pool. So it totaled around 15 days. And we'll go over the swimming pool scene. And who wants to dive into it?
Oh boy.
Whew. Whew. Man, okay. I'll take it. I'll totally take it. So what the gist of this film, or at least where it throws you to start with, is some laboratory, okay, with doctors examining this cat. And they're like, hey man, there's something in this cat. We don't know what it is. It ain't supposed to be in there. And somewhere along the line, the cat gets away from them. And so they're like, they freak out. And all of a sudden they like call for radiation police to come in. Which, I loved the radiation police, by the way, their outfits. Like, I don't know who put those pillowcases on their head and cut the eye holes for the radiation suits, but their mom did a good job. So an A+ on the costume design there. Then, while they're trying to catch this cat, confusing to me, of course, they start like, I don't know how to explain it, bleeding from their pillowcases without even like the cat doing anything to them. So I didn't know what to think at first. Okay. And then they don't really give you an explanation. You see like something in the cat's mouth. And that's about it at first. You're like, what the hell? It takes out whatever these radiation police guys, whoever they are, they're dead. And then the scientists are like, did you just see what happened? And then the other scientist's like, don't talk about that. We gotta kill this cat.
And the scientist there is played by Greydon Clark. That's our director. So the dark haired guy.
Really?
Yeah, that's Greydon Clark. And like I said, he's a former actor. And if
Wow.
you watch a lot of his films, he's usually probably one of the better actors in the entire film. Basically, where were we? Cat barfs.
Cat barfs.
Cat
Are you
barfs.
recording? Make sure you're recording.
Yes, we're recording both things
Yeah.
are recording. So, cat barfs instead of a hairball, barfs up a rat and runs
Yes.
away, escapes and he's
Escapes.
He lives for another day.
Okay,
Basically,
then the
flipping
movie.
everybody off on the way with his paws the best he can.
I couldn't tell what it was. That's all I have to say about it. Like, I was intrigued. I was like, what? What is in this?
You weren't expecting that, were you?
Twice the cat right there, in one. Then it cuts to our main females on spring break. Susan?
Yeah, we have let me look it back up. It was Rachel and Suzanne, I think.
Suzanne, that's right. Okay. Well, okay, they're two girls on spring break. They don't really have anywhere to stay. So, right, they're just kind of wandering around. They wander into a hotel because they want to take a rest. They've been walking around trying to find a place to stay. And that's when we are introduced to our sleazy mustache man, millionaire. Yes, there you go. One of our three bigger names, even though I don't know who this one is.
I have never heard of Alex Cord, but he got $25,000 apparently.
Good for that guy, And, he got to harass these young girls in this film, which must have been fun, I assume. So he makes his move. He sees these girls have no place to stay, and being the rich man he is, he's like, hey, you can come stay with me on my yacht. That'd be perfect. And these girls, I don't know why they'd be okay with it, but they end up being okay with it. Yeah. They're like, yeah, we'll definitely do that. They go to lunch with the guy for a minute, and then their lunch is interrupted by the man's business partner. Walter is his name, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Walter, yeah.
But the business partner's not Walter. Walter Graham is the Mr. Sleaze. Hi, I'm Mr. Sleaze.
Oh, yeah.
Walter Sleaze.
Okay.
Because remember, his nickname was Wall Street Wally or something like that.
Oh, yeah. That's what they knew him as.
Or Wall Street Walter. That was it. Are you talking about Wall Street Walter? I got him by my Joan Jett poster.
Walmart Walter? Wow.
Walmart Walter? He's like, hey, young ladies, it'll be purely innocent. Come to my boat. There's nothing wrong with the 45-year-old man asking college girls onto his boat. It's part of life. Every young college co-ed wants to party with the 45-year-old porno mustache guy.
It is the 80s,
I don't know. I lived in the 80s, and I just don't remember that many. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. I remember, when I was young. When I stopped dating younger women I was in New York, and I'm sitting at the bar, and I'm, thinking, man, I'm going to be the only dude with this 19-year-old chick, right? I go down there, and there's 50 or 60-year-old guys with 19-year-old girls, and I'm like, what a bunch of douchebags. Right then, I started,
money bags.
Yeah, I just thought to myself, I'm going to start dating 35-year-old women from now on. This is so stupid looking. Because I just cannot see me chivalred up with some young girl. You do look like a flippin' douchebag. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah. It's going out to dinner with your daughter, huh?
Exactly. Oh yeah, that's just daughter today. Or it's just like with Take Kid it's Daddy Sunday. It's like,
yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
I dropped Kid off one time, and I take it back. Somebody just picked me up and said, "Oh wow, look at that!" I said, "Hey, that's my stepson you're talking about."
Put him in their place,
man.
quick.
I didn't know. Yeah, stop talking about that stuff. Alright, where were we? Okay, so Walter douchebag, and then his George Kennedy enters the room, and Clu Gallagher. Now let's talk about Clu Gallagher's teeth for a moment. And now, did anybody else saw Return of the Living Dead?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, so he's in Return of the Living Dead, and that's really probably one of the reasons why he got this film so quickly. He's like, oh, well, I'm a movie star now. Here's your first row, uninvited. A cat? Well, I just got finished fighting zombies. Sure, why not? But the teeth, which I have no idea whose idea it was, his son made those teeth. That was something that his son was in makeup, and so his son made those teeth for him. And I can see this because, like I said, I think Greydon Clark's probably an easygoing guy and just likable, and I can see Clu going there. my son makes teeth. He can make me really funny teeth, and I think that would make the character more alive. And Greydon's like, that sounds like a good idea. Funny teeth. Let's go with it. All right. So I'm done with the teeth, and George Kennedy, Clu Gallagher show up, business partners, and his name, what was the Clu Gallagher's character? And I want to say Walter.
Man.
Albert! He was Albert!
Yeah,
Albert!
That's not Albert. Albert was the drunk, henchman guy.
Yeah, that's Clu Gallagher. Albert was Clu Gallagher.
Really?
Yeah.
And
then George Kennedy was Mike Harvey. He was the top list. He was he was your get it done guy and all that. So basically they cock block Walter at the dinner table. And so let's just continue. Where were we on that? So.
Oh man. Okay, yeah, they say, hey, we've got some business here. You can't be hanging out with these dumb broads. And he's like, you couldn't have gave me 10 more minutes, Damn.
That's all
anyways.
Wall Street Walter needs is 10 minutes.
Great.
That's all he needs.
And you gotta remember, this is before Viagra, folks. Keep that in mind, before Viagra.
It was all popped collars and salmon and baby blue shirts.
And no Viagra. Walter,
okay, alright, so they have to go to the yacht. They end up at this yacht. His yacht. Walter's fancy
before we
yacht.
get to the yacht, though, remember, the girls pick up the dudes.
Well...
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're wrong. You're right.
Or did they whack the guy first?
Because you forgot about I forgot about the whacking guy. Okay, go back to the whacking the guy off. See, I totally forgot about whacking the guy off.
Wait, what?
Speaking of whacking the guy off, this is such a softcore porno, B-horror movie to me. It's very tasteful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was so glad because, like I said, you can't watch Wacko and feel clean. You can watch this film and kind of oh yeah, that's mom and dad in a bikini. So what, But it's very innocent. It's not like where you feel dirty. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing.
Yeah, they keep it light. They
keep it light. It's you don't feel like you got to shower 30 times. After seeing it, Wacko, oh gosh, that film. That film makes me feel dirty.
I had to shower a few times after this movie.
Yeah, your cat. Jinx was probably going, oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah, Jinx was a fan of this film for the terrible cat loop sound effects. She came looking every time.
Okay, so the whacking. It's not a hot tub, it's a jacuzzi, right? So we got a jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi on a yacht.
Okay, so that's where we're at. So,
okay, well, I don't think we even get, this guy's name. He's just, one of their business associates that's, in with the... What, did they say the FCC? Because I believe that's what,
That is right. Because you have the SEC. The SEC is, they insider trading is their biggest thing they uncover. And I make a joke about it because SEC also stands for Southeastern Conference, which is the big football conference. But the thing is, SEC, that's what they do is they, Stock Exchange Commission, which basically, if you do something dirty at Wall Street, you don't want the SEC to investigate because that means insider trading, you watch Trading Places, which was before insider trading was illegal. And so when that started becoming illegal, oh my gosh, people were more, scared. And apparently they've done some insider trading and embezzling, let's say, dipping into the funds of people's retirement. So if they leave the country, they don't have to worry about it. So, but the SEC, so this guy's going to rat on them. That's what they're afraid. This guy's going to rat on them. So what happens?
And he's already asking for more money, so they can tell, So, I love the guy's reaction when he realizes they're about to whack him. Oh no, please, don't! please don't, what are you doing? Huh? And they also use the same, like, audio twice of him, like...
I didn't even notice that. That's so funny.
Yeah, you'll have to
he
give
was
it a
so the
sec.
entire time he was like, I'm so loyal, I'm your best friend, man. I am your best friend, basically. I was like,
Well, the worst thing is, too, they're yelling at this guy, and it's like he goes, what? You're gonna kill me? That comes out of nowhere. You're gonna kill me? And then, you know, like, Walter's like, there's this thing called blackmail. You ever seen it? You ever seen blackmail?
You ever seen a black male before?
Exactly. And it's really big. and then Walter, Albert, of all people, the weakest character, has to take the guy down, which I
love how they slow-mo that scene, just to try and make it more like, I don't know, dramatic, but it gave it kind of the opposite effect.
Gonna kill me. And then the thing is,
so they drown this guy.
Yeah, and something I also want to add. Not only did Clu Gallagher's son come up with the teeth, Clu Gallagher, for some reason, came up with the shivering, and they kept it in the...
Yeah, after he kills him, yeah.
And I don't know what that was all about. And somebody said, here's what I think it is I guess it's supposed to be interpreted as, like, alcohol shakes? Is that what we're...
Yeah, maybe.
Because
either that or that's why he turns to alcohol, because he can't, handle...
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think about, because other than that, everybody else is thinking this is a heart condition. And because, like, Walter's like, look at Albert, he's shaking. That was the funny thing.
Laughing at him. Look at this nerd.
Look, Albert's shaking. He's about to have a heart attack. It's like, George's like, shut up. I don't want to bury another guy. And then that was my whole thing. And Albert, if you can clean up this mess, I'd be really appreciative, and you come back for snacks, okay? I was like, sure thing, Buff. I will clean up the mess, and then we'll go in and have something to drink. and true story, they said the wine on this was actually grape juice. That there was no drinking on the set, and I say, horse crap.
Yeah, maybe not on screen.
You have to drink on this set in order to be able to, like, be down with it.
If you look at Alex Cord in this film, I'm sorry, that dude had a little bit to make it through each little scene. And, I'm sure Greydon could, like, confirm that, because I believe Alex was drinking a little bit to get through this. He was like, man, and last year I was doing Airwolf. Alright, so we whacked a guy off.
We whacked that guy.
And now we get into picking up the boys, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the girls, now that they're going to be going and staying on the yacht, run into some boys, which, I'm sure the whole plan being on spring break was to find, some people to party with. And I thought it was so crazy that they just immediately, like, first thing, talking to these guys, invites them onto someone else's boat. It's like, hey, we got invited to this thing. You should definitely come with us.
Right. As if it wasn't, like, completely obvious that this crazy, creepy old rich guy with the yacht is like, hey, come aboard so I can, And then they're like, hey, let's bring these boys, too.
Yeah.
Which, they want the protection. I get that.
Yeah. Well, that was another thing, too. That's really was weird, is it's like, that's the reason why these girls become very unlikable to me. First of all, you're in a hurry to get on the boat with the creepy guy that you don't know, but you're also going to invite two boys you've never met in your entire life to come in just in case he gets too forward. You'll be there. You don't even know these guys. These guys might be into that. Like they could be.
Yeah, now there's 4 people to worry about.
Yeah, that could be their fetish. It's like, you know what I like? Watching old guys hit on young girls. Man, that turns me on. Yeah, bruh.
It's the 80s. Yeah.
Especially rich dudes. Because that one dude had this thing for Walter, like, Wall Street Walter?
Oh, yeah.
Wall Street Walter?
Yeah. He couldn't care less these women just invited him on a cruise.
Wall Street Walter?
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna meet Walter? I can't believe it.
I'll put on a dress and serve him drinks. I don't care. You know, it's like, I mean, he was just like so in love with the dude. It was like, so I mean, that was creepy enough. And and then the girls, yeah, that to me is sloppy writing.
Who would even be like, wow, I look up to this guy who's on Wall Street.
Well, no, it's like I was telling you, like he had a poster of Joan Jett on his wall, and he's got a picture of Wall Street Walter and Ronald Reagan.
Right? There's a teenage boy on spring break. I don't understand how a teenage boy, he'd be like, oh, Joan Jett, or like, oh, all these other, like, you know, bikini babes. Not Wall Street Walter, oh my god.
Whoa.
And then
I think he was like the sports star one too, even, so like...
Great.
Yeah, one had a wrestling contract, or no, wrestling scholarship. One had the thing for science, and I think the other guy was just a dropout. I don't know. It was how it worked out. It was like, what about you? Look, you know, I'm just here because this is spring break and there's babes here. A true story. I don't think, the way I understand it, talking and listening to Greydon Clark's interview, this was not filmed in Florida, even though there is a Florida license plate. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you know, before we talk even about the boys, did we mention about the old pickup truck scene? Can we talk about that?
Oh, where the cat, yes, okay.
Yes, that is the best part.
Okay. I
this
definitely
is where we realize
noticed
that the budget is pretty low on this film.
Yes. So we get to finally see, like, the cat, or what I should say is inside the cat a little bit better, okay, in this scene. And, it looks somewhat like an otter or seal to me, might I add. And,
a platypus without a
kudos
is what I
on the puppeteer. Kudos on the puppeteer, because I could see his invisible arm, his hand working the puppet. So, shout outs to him. Also,
and by the way, I do puppets, so I can attest to this. So that is a puppet. I'll do my CSI Miami, because you know why? Because it was a puppet.
The Muppets did it.
The Muppets did it.
Time of death.
Alright,
so they crash their truck, which might I add, while they're driving it or before the cat attacks the two drivers in this truck, it's a different model truck than whenever they cut to a different, after it wrecks.
I have
it's a different vehicle completely.
Yeah, I have a theory on this. First of all, let me go over this truck and why it's so important. Because first of all, it says this is a low budget film. All right, so number one, what happens to make this cat, I guess, more menacing and to get him from point A to point B? So we choose a truck, and apparently a guy at a service station is feeding the cat with milk, and then the cat is drinking the milk, and these dudes show up, knock the service guy out, take the guy's keys, and it's like they had to have an old pickup truck. And it's so badly shot that you actually think the dudes drove up in the pickup truck and then stole the pickup truck again. But way I'm supposed to understand is they're beating up the service guy to get the keys to get to the register, and I guess they got some money out, went back to their pickup truck. They get in the pickup truck, the cat gets back into the truck, because these dudes killed the dude who provided milk. The cat jumps through the window, crashes the vehicle, which is actually probably stock footage from old Greydon Clark film back in the 70s. So we switched from this truck going off the cliff to, and then on top of add insult to injury, where we see the puppeteer's hand coming out, attacking the people. To add insult to injury, they couldn't find a sound effect for a truck going off a cliff, so they just added the glass sound effect looping like 3 times. So you hear crash, glass, crash, glass, crash, glass. What it needed after that was the truck to explode, but we didn't get that, great
no
ending
Michael
like
Bay
that.
action here.
Yeah, and it's kind of, but we get the cat there to the port, which is supposed to be Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which is not. It's actually a pier dock outside of LA there, but we're supposed to believe this is Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and this is spring break. And so there we have the young ladies picking up the boys.
Yes. Okay.
And we've gone
Picking up
over
the boys.
that.
Yes.
So, like,
they're gonna go to the cruise now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so the next scene after we convince the boys to, take a cruise with us and Wall Street Walter,
Wall Street Walter! Did you say Wall Street Walter?
I know him. I really like this scene because it's just so, like, they're walking on the deck and they're like, okay, here's the boat, we're getting to go on the boat, and then they're like, oh, look at this chest, let's open the chest. A cat!
Yeah.
Because that's where you find cats.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then,
they heard it meowing, which is another loop, and even though the cat doesn't move his mouth, he keeps on meowing, which is wonderful.
I know, it's the worst, like, meow, meow,
Meow, meow, meow.
It was so, oh my gosh, worst cat sounds ever. And she's just like, look at this cat! It's my cat now. Like, this is my cat. And everyone was just like, bet, it's her cat, let's go on this cruise with this cat.
Great idea, bring a cat on a ship, by the way.
I heard that cats are lucky on ships.
Yeah.
So then we get to the ship, and Walter, says, wait a minute, there's more male genitalia on this thing now.
Yeah.
There's 3 times as much. I don't know if I can go with that. And, of course, we do introduce the young female captain as
Captain.
well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who's as cute as a button, and she wants the ship back or something. But she doesn't have a crew.
Dead daddies.
Yeah. She doesn't have a crew, but the SEC is coming. Albert lets him know the SEC is coming. The SEC is coming, so let's move this puppy. So he tries to convince them to go, and they can't because they don't have a crew. So it just happens that these able-bodied young men can be the crew now. And so pretty good writing there to try to justify, 3 extra male genitalia. And so now we've got George Kennedy, Clu Gallagher, Sleazy Walter, and 3 college boys and 2 college girls and a captain. So that's all that's on this ship. So, and we got a full crew. And again, like I said, then Walter wants to get rid of the cat, right?
Yeah, hates cats.
Yeah, and the scientist was like, I heard that cats are really good luck on a boat. And he says that 2 times. And it's like, so remember that, cats are good luck on a boat. And so then, of course, Walter's like, no, I don't care, it's my boat. He's going to have to go. And then it's like Susan says, well, yeah, but, and all this and blah, 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 and the cat. And he says, all right, but you owe me, Suzanne, and I never forget.
Most weird,
Yeah, that was way creepy.
The implication.
I immediately wanted to just, pause the movie and take a shower.
You can bring the cat, Walter. Kiddo, but you owe me.
I'll leave the cat at home. Yeah, cat's staying home.
I used to tell Kiddo all the time, I said, you owe me. And the kiddo's like, what? I want some kiddo giggles. Give me some kiddo giggles. I want my giggles. Give me my giggles. Let me hear some giggles. Giggle! Giggle! Give me some kiddo giggles. Oh no, they left.
Cracks whip.
Where'd you go?
Oh no. Ran away, I think.
Ran away. I guess we could continue until they come back. Walter!
Okay, alright.
It's like,
We've got Sly Walter now with his ladies and his new crew. Demanded giggles and we drop, he says. Wow.
give me giggles. So, and with the SEC coming, that hurries up this plot a little bit, because that's the thing. We got to get to the cat barfing and attacking people, so we have to SEC, which is the funniest thing is watching Albert come. The SEC's coming! The SEC's coming! The SEC's coming! We gotta move the boat! Master Dinner, we gotta get going here! And he's like flapping his hair. Alright, let's go! And so, I can't, where we're at right now, is it, they have the little party and then the boys have to wash dishes and stuff, I guess? Is that where we're at? Remember
immediately, they like make each of them assigned to be like the maid, the dish bus boy or whatever. And
George Kennedy gives them a thing. He's like, you're the cook, you're the defense, and boy, you meet me in my cabin in 2 minutes in a dress. It's like, okay,
you pretty yourself up now.
Yeah, and you better smell nice too.
And then, the boys are pretty much just about to tell him to go F off, hey! And then the girls are like, of course, we'll do whatever you want. Just, that's their entire character, is these manipulative,
because all Walter wants is some
their
giggles.
Bodies.
That's all he wants, girly giggles.
Greedy than that, Walter is, I think.
Is this, because, we get the scene, and I guess we established the captain a little bit, like she's important or something like that. And then...
Supposed to be.
Yeah, and, to try to establish, what would you say, some emotional connection with her, because, she's a pretty good character. She's not that bad of actress. I've never heard of her. I'm sure she's done stuff before. She didn't get her $25,000.
And she's pretty,
Yeah. I just remember those butt.
She was the most attractive of all the girls, I would want to say.
You think she was attractive?
And, wore the most clothes, too, so.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I thought she was the most attractive.
The worst thing, what I hate when I watch this kind of hair on these girls is you go from, that girls look good to, oh, girlfriend, you did not. I cannot believe, oh, no, you did not. That hair? Oh, really? It's like I was at a convention, I'll never forget, and I was handing out my cards once, and one girl was like, I don't know about this coconut daddy thing. And the first thing that, instead of being mean coconut daddy, I was like, oh girl, please, get a hold of yourself. You're not all that, okay? That's what's going through my, and that's exactly what I did with this 80s hair. It was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. The hairstylist in me was like coming out. It was like, oh no. Oh, no. That, your face and that hair, no. It's not happening. I'm sorry. It just, your hairstylist was wrong. I don't know how much you paid, but I go get my money back. That's what I would have said.
Man, you're savage.
Well, I'm sorry, you got to be. It's a movie.
Yeah, you gotta be.
It's like, you want fame, girl. You can't handle it. When a Lolita on Tumblr tells you that you're fugly, you better get ready. That's all I can say. You have to prepare. You're not ready for fame, and you're not ready for the hairstyle. Okay, I'll take time to say it. White people dancing. Can we talk about this for a moment?
They've gotten better over time, Sean. You just gotta give them time.
Alright, okay. I will say this, okay, because there's a guy that, I grew up, watch as a musician, and he's releasing some of his old footage in the 80s in the concerts. And people are in the crowd doing the waving the arms thing. And I was like, yeah, I do remember that a little bit. And it was god awful. Because what was this thing, swinging with the arms, and that was it. And then that song that they played over again, I cannot think of it. What was it? It was, oh my gosh, what was that song? One more time. We're gonna play this song one more time. One more time, you're gonna get sick of it before this movie is over with, and it is awful. And then you got the girls with the doing the thing, and it's like one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's awful.
I kind of liked that song though. By the time I watched this, the fourth time.
Well, there was probably subliminal messages going on in there. Like this song or Walter.
I'm actually listening to it right now.
Really? The song?
With these headphones. Yes. No.
One more time. We're gonna play the party line. I don't know. It was just terrible.
I'm gonna watch young people have a good time on my boat.
Right.
Because that's what it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we're trying to establish these characters. We try to establish the captain's likable, the scientist guy is likable, all these things.
The smart boy.
Yeah. And for some reason...
Yeah, biologist guy.
Yeah, the biologist. So they have lack of crew. They have the party. They have the white people dancing. And who do they decide? Who do they decide to man the ship?
Yeah, in lieu of the captain, the female captain, they've got Albert. Drunk Albert in the end, and he gets Captain Albert at your service, baby.
Captain Albert. Oh my gosh. That is, and I'll go back to cringy and feel sorry for people. That is, I never felt sorry for an actor than that scene. And I almost felt like it was improv. And it was like, Clue, could you act like a drunk guy? And what would a drunk guy do? And it was like driving the ship, and he decides to sing, which is a good thing that he chose this song because they knew it was in public domain and they had to pay any money for it. So he's singing, what is the name of that song? My eyes have seen the coming of the glory of the it was like
of the Lord.
Yeah, and it's like, because it's in public domain, and they don't have to pay any money. It was like, of all songs you could have picked, that's in public domain. It's like,
he's like, this one goes out to you, Captain. She's behind him. You are drunk. You are right.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me of Kiddo back when they were playing Robin. It was like that guy goes, "You're drunk," and Kiddo's, "You're right." and Ash is just dying laughing. I remember that. I could because you hear Ash just laughing that laugh. He goes, "You're drunk." It was a little bit. I don't think you were drunk. I think you just smelled of booze. I think that's what he smelled. But booze and desperation. All right, so
oh boy,
you had fun. That's all that mattered. All right, so well, I mean, I'll be honest with you, like. I've seen littler people not handle alcohol as much as Kiddo can. Like smaller people. Alright, so, so Albert, what is the deal here? Kiddo, touch on Albert. Albert's drinking, so.
Oh boy.
This is our first kill. This is our first, no, it's our first kill on the boat. No, second kill if you count the SEC guy, so. What's going on?
So basically, we've been discovered by the captain, and Albert basically essentially she's essentially like, "You're drunk, go home." So he's like, "Okay,"
I live here though.
Yeah, like. So we stumbling around the side of the boat, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm drunk, and I'm walking around trying to find my way back to my room, or maybe he just had to take a walk and sober up. I don't remember, but we're walking, and all of a sudden we get the dreaded cat noises, the same cat noises on repeat. Yup.
We know it's coming.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
Hi, little pussy. Hey.
So
Hi.
unfortunately,
You
he
want
is
some
the first
wine?
victim. Yeah.
And he
First
spits
victim
wine
of
on the cat. He spits wine on the cat too.
That was so mean.
I know.
I don't
the
know
cat.
why
You saw the cat's
he
face.
deserved to die after that.
No cats were spit on in the making of this film.
They did die in this film. We'll get into that.
But, yeah, so the cat ends up biting him, and he does the whole thing where, like, his veins start popping out, and he's bleeding from his everywhere, and, like, ends up, flipping over the side of the boat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so after that, we realize, okay, he's gone. We're looking, I think it's the captain is looking for him and is like, where is he? We can't keep moving on. We need to, send out the search team, like call in and be like, we need some help, distress signals. And our Wall Street Walter is like, no can do, sweet cheeks.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Already knew he fell.
Yep.
Well, and that's the thing is too, because they're running from the SEC, and the SEC's coming. The SEC's coming. Don't forget them. So, so convinces her to let's not go any further. The best thing about this scene, but the funniest part that cracks me up every time, is she goes, "Well, we gotta find him. I'm not gonna leave a man behind." And then George Kennedy said, "It's no big deal. He couldn't swim." And then she's like,
Yeah. So they were like, well, he's dead anyway, essentially, is how they were just like. And then she's like, oh.
Yeah, that's different if he's already dead.
That's different.
Yeah, he's probably shark food at this time, so, what can you do about it?
She just wanted the boat.
Yeah,
That's fine.
On the boat.
My favorite last lines of Albert were, "I didn't ask to be captain." He's like, "I didn't ask to be captain." Dies. He wasn't captain anyways, might I add.
Well, and the funny thing too is, I have to go back. One of the things I noticed watching this too is, when Walter falls off the boat, George Kennedy, it's like his spider sense tingles and he looks out the window, and he gets up and he leaves out the door to see what's going on, and he doesn't find Walter out there. But the funniest thing, if you watch that, you'll see that he's playing backgammon with the scientist guy. And it's like the scientist guy's like, "What? You interrupted her game? Why?" we were connecting in backgammon, and it's like, it's so funny. Like, it's like, and the look on the guy's face, like, huh? And it's like, George, my spider sense is tingling. I have to go check this out. He's like, he walks out. I watch it.
But I'm 2 years for my doctorate. Come back.
Exactly. We were playing backgammon, man. No one interrupts the backgammon game. Maybe checkers or poker, but not a backgammon game. I don't care if anyone's dying. Right. So, after all that mess, which, things have now changed because they don't want anybody else to know that Albert's gone, but they kind of would figure that out with him not showing up. But, we get into, after Albert is killed alone, then they found the blood, and the scientist guy does, and that's where he has to get a sextant, which is SEXTANT, to use as a microscope, because they don't have a microscope on the boat, and observe that Albert's blood cell was abnormally high. Blood don't do this. Blood don't jump like this. It's like blood's always, "Hey, I'm blood." But apparently the blood is contagious, which is reason why you should handle it with your bare hands.
Yeah, right. I noticed that as well. I was like, well, I don't know, man, if you're like playing around with these specimens with just your hands. And he's like, "Oh, this is bad."
Yeah. No one should be touching this stuff. It's bad for you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he hasn't graduated yet, so.
That's the reason why
the reason.
That's the reason why he lost his scholarship to Harvard. So, so he dismisses the death as accidental. Nevertheless, he inspects the blood sample with his sextant and observes that Albert's blood is abnormally unusual. So, can I tackle the rape?
Oh man!
You want me
Don't
to
tackle?
Can I tackle the rape?
No tackling. Okay, tackle.
Okay, I'm gonna tackle the rape scene.
Just don't pin.
Yeah, because I want to try to be as sensitive as possible. Let's say right now that we here at the Coconut Daddy Productions do not ever condone behavior of this nature. Wow. One of our young ladies is exercising. Walter decides that I've got to have me in her. So, while she's exercising, and enforces himself upon the young lady. And then our other dude, who we don't know what he's going to college for, he just shows up. So
our bro.
Yeah.
Let's call him our bro.
Yeah,
bro.
I mean, he goes bro on the guy. Yo, what's up, man? What you doing?
Whoa, hey, dude.
Yeah,
Not cool.
Not cool. And Walter's like, man, you just mind your own business. I got this, you know. And it's like, oh no, bro, you can't be doing that. So he like goes out there and he goes, pushes Walter off of him. And the next thing you know, Georgia shows up, shoots him in the arm.
Wonderful, by the way. Yeah, like that is top tier. What you do in this situation is you start shooting people.
And I can't help it every time I see that scene because it's like push off. George goes, and you just can't help but laugh because it's like he just like comes out of nowhere, shoots the guy. I was like, and then
he's been wanting to. He wanted an excuse the whole movie, though. So he
was in the closet waiting.
Yeah.
And it just George is
polishing his gun.
One of these days, I'm going to get to use this gun. I'm going to shoot somebody. Shoots the kid in the arm.
Also, okay.
And
so
it's like
he grazes the guy's arm.
Yeah, and it brushes him off like, hey, it's only a flesh wound. You know, what are you worried about?
He shoots him in front of a window. It grazes him, but, you know, the window don't break.
Yeah.
Might I add. So that's good.
Yeah, it's really smart, George. But it stirs up one of our second attacks or third attacks or fourth attacks with the cat. The cat is hiding underneath the bed and attacks poor George in the foot, in the ankle, and bites him, and he's critically wounded by this bat because he's got the venom inside of him now. And
yes.
And so you got this throbbing makeup that they use with, those air bubble makeup. You know, they on the side they'd be pumping that, making that do like that, so it looks like it's, back in those days we didn't have CGI, so it's like, how do we show that someone is infected? Oh yeah, the air bubble makeup. There were. He's infected. It's pulsing. No. Well, of course we thought that was neat in those days. It's basically some dude back there pumping, using one of those heart blood pressure medicine things. And
so we get to see the cat again, so that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably one of the best attacks in the film. You know,
I've noticed that like the puppet changes like proportions.
Yeah.
Each time it's like it'll be like a different like creature.
Yeah, it'll be small, like medium, and large.
Small,
and I don't know if
bigger.
That's part of his thing or whatever, but like I said, we're getting to the point where things have changed now. Mike is infected and he's critically wounded. Mike soon begins having these horrible spasms and he just dies, and then they have the famous ship throw the dude overboard. And now we're with Lance and Bobby, who decide to engage in precoital foreplay. So, talk about this.
So yeah, we get this softcore porno-like intro, or at least that's where it was going for me. And then he's talking about not being able to feel his hand or like even his like arm, and I guess that's from the gunshot, and so they're like making light of it, having like this, I guess, foreplay or whatever, and they're like, oh, I might not be able to feel my hand, but you know what I can feel, and she goes to pull the blanket back from over him, and then there's the cat or whatever's inside the cat just gnawing at his hand, and he wasn't able to feel it the whole time. And this is like the smallest the creature has looked to me so far, so I'm just like, there's a rat in your bed. There's like fingers just laying on the bed.
I got the poison in me.
It's in my blood.
It's in my blood.
It's in my blood. So he runs. He's running all over the ship. Goes to the edge. He's screaming about it. He's like, "Did you see that? Oh my god! It bit me!" And he proceeds to jump to his death over the side of the ship, and also takes the girl with him that was trying to keep him from jumping.
Yeah, I mean that, and it's like it knocks out two in one thing, and it's like, and the thing is too, I can see the cat when they're both falling off, going like, "Hey, you can't blame me for that." That is just pure stupidity on your part, and
yeah, he was angered by your premarital intercourse. He was mad. This cat has morals, okay?
But I'm saying the girl fell off with him, but that wasn't his fault,
Oh no, she had every reason to stay on the ship, from what I saw.
And
so.
And then of course we get we get the craziest thing with Corey, the other character. This is what's silly. Can we talk about? I don't know if y'all ever trapped animals, or any of y'all have got any experience with that.
Yeah.
But I'm
saying raccoons,
right? There's certain animals you have to place, stuff out. But with a cat, you could pretty much take one bowl and put it out in the middle of the floor. And it would come there. It's not like, we watched him early go to a bowl of milk, but he's like strategically placing, the poison on each little pipe.
He's trying to impress Walter.
Yeah.
That's all.
And that was another thing too. He said, "I'm gonna go get Walter," because he's like, he's kind of like trying to make a deal with Walter, because he's still got that, fanboy thing with Walter. Hey Walter, what do you want to do after this? Can I be your best friend?
You free after this cruise, Walter?
Yeah, man. Will you take me out somewhere? Because he knows Walter has money, I guess, too. That was another thing. I think that was kind of the storyline, that Corey wasn't had the best intentions. And of course, with his character, it gets even worse because, they lock, him up because, here's the thing too, because I've skipped ahead, is during this time, the captain, after George Kennedy dies, realizes, they need to do the right thing and call for help, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the engines have totally shut down, and so she tries to call for help, but Walter's like, "Oh no, you don't. You don't do that, because if you do, I'll shoot that girl right between the eyes, And the girl's like, "No, don't shoot me. And then somehow they get out of that, and then she tells him, take the gun and shoot his balls off. And then they lock him up in the room, and that's when Corey convinces them that they need Walter and gives him the gun and all this kind of mess. But while Corey's trying to poison the cat, he dies from a steam blast that kills him.
That was terrible.
And through this, there's this strength of, the cat is torturing and playing with them by poisoning the food, and there's this dialogue that's involved in it, because what you get left is you get Rachel and Martin, Susan are left. Those are the only ones left. Is Corey's dead? After the steam blast, and you've got them left. There's only like champagne and cornflakes is what they got left, which is basically, which is, and they say, well, we gotta ration this out, and Susan's like totally freaking out, and they can't touch the food because it's poison and infects it, and to prove that the food's poison, Susan goes downstairs and eats it.
That was the stupidest scene, honestly. She was like, I knew he was lying to me. And then I was like, why would he be lying to you about poison?
She's going crazy from hunger that quick.
Yeah. That'd be me, buddy. If I don't eat, if I don't have a snack,
same day.
Yeah.
I knew he was hiding the Pocky. The Pocky's poison. No, it's
and
not.
I like how she notices the cat after she's eaten something, and the cat was by the food, and she's like, "No, I only ate a little bit, just a little bit."
I was expecting the cat to just start laughing.
That'd be a much better.
Cat would be like, so you think you have escaped me, Suzanne? Well, I'm going to tell you what you've just done. You've eaten poison, and you will die in a minute. I will sit here and watch you die in the process. Yeah, it's a terrible scene because this movie really falls apart right here because it's like this is during the time with the whole poison scene. It's really painful to kind of watch until we get towards the end. And I'll set up some of the ending stuff here because we blow a hole in the boat, right? And the boat is starting to sink. And Walter is locked up in his room, and he's so concerned about his money and all this. Now, let me go into this part, because this is very important. You're going to learn about this scene, because one thing is when Greydon Clark looked at some tanks to see if he could film this scene. So what he did with Walter's room is he took his garage and he made Walter's room in his garage. So he took that set and put it in his garage. So he wanted to have a sinking scene. So what he did is once he was done with shooting Walter in the dry room, he took the room and actually transported the room. And I think this is a wild idea, but it actually worked. He took the room that he made in the garage and actually put it into his swimming pool.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the reason why it looks like it's underwater. So then they shot at night because he knew at night you couldn't see anything in the background. And he just shot Walter in the room in the swimming pool. And that closes the scene. Unfortunately, there were some bad things happen with this scene. They used several cats for filming this scene because, number one, the cats were not that intelligent. But worst of all, some of them couldn't swim. So it included a few of our cats did not make it in the swimming pool in the last bit of the scene. So it became very hard to film. And that was, that's the issue that happened, while filming this, this scene. And so we're towards the climatic, and just really, like I said, here it just falls apart because it gets really, if it's not silly enough, it really, really gets silly here because what they do the whole Titanic thing, I guess, them two, because Walter's doesn't make it, right? Because he realizes, come on, cat, let me have my money. And the cat's like, no, you're not getting this money. No, let me have my money. No, you're not getting the money. And the cat, kills him. So then we're left with all the money that's on the lifeboat, because they're on the lifeboat. And so we're basically at Rachel and Martin, who are on the lifeboat, and they've got all the briefcases, and then the cat keeps on jumping on the lifeboat, and it's raining really bad and storming. So anybody want to touch on this ridiculousness.
I guess I could. It was pretty confusing to me at first, but basically what she says is throw the briefcase with the money in it, and I was like, why would you, I don't understand. Like, that's not, what would he get? So, the guy's smart and he's like, oh, I'm gonna empty the money out first. So, good job, guy, you're not dumb. Yeah. But they empty out the money and they throw the briefcase, and the cat actually, like, uses it as, like, a life raft instead of, like, trying to get onto the same boat as them. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. But at first I thought she was just like, you gotta hit this cat, throw the thing. And I was like...
But see, that's the thing. And I'm sorry, I hate to think that this film has any plot holes. But... even if, let's say, I mean, let's think about the logic for this. First it's storming, you got electricity, everything like that. And here's the whole thing, because I thought they were going to do that thing. You ever watch Gremlins and then, like, Stripes comes back alive, right? And it's kind of a scary moment. And I thought, that's what they're doing, right? But then she kept on, oh, if you do that, he's going to keep on, because the thing keeps on jumping, and it's like a loop. Like if you take a video on YouTube and you loop it over and over again, he jumps on him and he goes and he throws it back in the water. He jumps on again and he throws it back in the water. So no, if you throw the briefcase out there, he'll jump on the briefcase and won't jump on you.
Yeah, right.
Can we think about this for a moment? I mean, yeah, that seems a 50-50 chance there. Because the cat could be like,
trying.
Hey, look. You're on a boat, and I know what a boat looks like. That's a briefcase. Briefcase? Boat. I know I was on a boat, so I'm gonna assume to jump on the boat. That's a briefcase. Yeah. Are you stupid? Alright, briefcase, boat. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that this film has flaws. But I noticed that...
But it has claws.
It says claws, But I'm just saying, I don't know the logic. I just don't want to, I want to go in there like, it's briefcase. You know, of course cats love briefcases. Yeah, that's it. Cats love briefcases. That's what I
There you go.
That's it. There's the logic. It curled up and took a nap.
Very wet nap.
We ought to do a test, alright? We ought to take Jinx and say, put a boat out there or a briefcase and see which one he'll pick.
I don't
With
know.
this movie's track record, my cat's not going near water.
Yeah.
And you know, the funny thing is too, as immediately as the cat jumps on the briefcase, it like goes off, and the cat's like, F you! You fooled me! I did not know this thing was gonna float this way!
Yeah, bamboozled.
I'll get you one of these days! Dang me loving sparkling briefcases! If this thing wasn't so shiny, I would have jumped on that boat.
The fact that we end this movie here, basically, and we have this cat floating away on the briefcase, does that open up the opportunity for a sequel?
Well, they give you the opportunity.
Oh, they do at the end. Remember the boy finds the cat on the beach?
Which, it's a completely different looking cat to, like, all the other cats shown in this movie.
Yeah. Well, we're to assume that the insides ended up in that cat. That's what we're to assume. But we're getting ahead to ourselves right now. Why Kitty is floating away on sparkling briefcase. We skip to them at, I guess, the Cayman Islands, and there's the porter or the customs, and he's going over everything. Anybody want to touch on this? That the porter or the customs guy never decides to open up the gym bag full of millions of dollars?
Yeah, considering that's his job, I don't know how he missed that part. But he was probably so taken back by the story of, like, poisonous, venomous cat killing the crew. And anyways, he basically just chalks it up to, you guys went through some major trauma and you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And he's holding the gym bag.
While he says it?
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Wow.
And
he's like, well, here's your bag.
And
Be on your way.
And cut to the child who finds the cat on the beach, where we assume that the insides are into the new cat, and then like Kiddo said, the possible for a sequel. This could be like a beginning of a Lord of the Rings trilogy thing.
Oh goodness.
This was the prequel, actually.
I think we're done here because we got the music, which is, again, one more time, going across the party line. More time, going across the party line. Mm-hmm. All right, so they're partying. Okay, the movie's over with. All right, thoughts. Let's talk about how this film is related to the whole economic society of classes, and how that the psychological impact of a higher class with a boat and a cat has affected the lower class of society who doesn't understand the higher class, because like, do you even trickle down, bro? And
I can't even double up.
And how that the persecution of the upper class with cats and boats and a yacht is what is affected. And that's what Greydon Clark was trying to say, and that we as a society need to band together and get rid of all cats and upper class, and there you go, folks. I mean, it's just
upper cats.
Yeah, upper cats. It is a reflection of our society and what we're going through now, and everything like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's one man's opinion, That's one cat's opinion.
Yeah.
Some cats.
I'm just saying, it's a modern Shakespeare tale of Romeo and Juliet meets Die Hard.
This is more like Cats and Dogs meets, man, I don't know any ship movies. Ghost Ship? That's a good one.
Yeah, throw me at it. Let's see. Would you where would we go? Would you recommend this film? Who would you recommend this film?
Oh wow.
Boating enthusiasts.
Yeah, I was gonna say something like chips.
People who lived in the 80s. I was not one of those people. So. Let's see.
I was gonna say, if you like bad movies, they did a really good job of making this a bad movie.
Yeah, B-horror, you like? Yeah. You'll enjoy it.
I mean, let me ask you this, because I don't know what movies, because this was 87, so this is a little late in the game. I mean, like I said, if you look at 84, that's when the first Nightmare on Elm Street hit, and it kind of like revamped the horror films a little bit because it was a blockbuster, right? I mean, and I guess he felt like he could capitalize on the kind of the horror, the horror thing was getting big again. They revamped the Leatherface even. They revamped a lot of older characters. Horror was making a second attempt, So I can see the intelligence of trying to do this. And then, of course, you got to think about Gremlins, too. Gremlins was real popular, too. And I remember when that film hit. That was like a blockbuster. I went to that film when I was a kid. A kid who was friend with me, he got grounded, so he didn't get to go. So, and his mom said, "Don't tell him that the film's plot, because I'm going to end up taking him anyways this weekend." I'm like, okay, I will. Hey, Mason, guess what happened in Gremlins? Don't tell me!
Don't feed him after midnight. But,
true story, his wife, he told his wife about what he wanted to do. He wanted to do a film about, killer rats. This film was about killer rats. And his wife said, "Ooh, no one likes rats. So what about cats?" There you go. Everybody likes cats. So he changed it over to cats, and he came up with this thing. And the whole thing about the barfing, the animal thing, I don't know what that came about, but it was like, sure, go with it.
He still wanted the rat, but he put it in the cat.
In the cat. I mean, that makes somewhat sense, I guess. Like, the cat ate this radioactive mutant rat, and then carried it off with it.
Cat?
Well, yeah, I guess it would be a compromise. I want rats. I want cats. Hey, let's combine them together. And we get this uninvited. I would say this. If you're with the guys at college or something, and you want a guy now just watching movies and drinking a beer and having a good time, this is the movie for you. Like, you just want to spend a couple hours together and just riff at it, because it is a very riffable movie. It's a very bad, good movie. It's a movie, like I said, I discovered a couple of years ago, didn't even know existed, and I have not regretted finding it, and I'm so glad I got to introduce it to you guys, because, like I was telling Caleb, in my life, I actually was searching for the worst movies of all time, and there are movies that are, if you want to go movies that are so bad they're good, this one, Troll 2 is another one. Have you guys ever seen Troll 2?
Mm-mm.
Oh my
No.
God. That is really, watch the documentary about Troll 2. It's just worth it. I love it. But, like, being a fan of movies, I know a lot of people think, go out there and get a good movie. Why would you watch a bad movie? It's maybe because there's not that many really good movies out there. But at the same time, if you're going to make a bad movie, why can't it be entertaining? Why does it have to be miserable? Why can't it be? Can we talk about, like I said, this to me is his least offensive film, in my opinion. Like I said, even the rape scene would be very light for today.
Yeah, it was done very light.
Yeah, and I'm glad of that, because, like I said, we sit around and talk about this, but, I watch this film, I don't feel like taking a shower. I don't feel like I need to clean my mind. I feel like I'm watching a fun movie. Even though it's so stupid, it's fun and stupid, and we're being kids for one day. And that's what I feel about it. How do you feel? Is there anything to you, kiddo, that you felt like you felt disturbing? Or is it just like I said, do you feel like it's just a kid movie, we're having fun, and who cares?
Honestly, to me, it was like, they definitely didn't need that much of the, okay, I get it, you guys are making out and all of this stuff, but, it really didn't need to go on for as long as it did if you were just going to have
scene,
that.
And I completely forget about it. It's that music video scene. Because the one with the hand, let's be honest, the one with the hand is necessary because we need to know that this guy doesn't feel anything. That's the reason why this cat's
Yes, there's all that set up,
Yeah, that's set up nice. Like I said, there is that porno music scene that is, I'm thinking, and that's like, I think was
so
just for the
hot
kiddos.
in here.
It's just for the kiddos, you know what I'm saying? Back in those days.
Yeah, I guess so. Even just hearing that would, give you this vibe of what the scene's supposed to be like. But.
Right. There was, if you watch horror films in those days, they would always have that scene. But like saying, it's not gratuitous. I completely forget about that scene every time that it's even in there. And I've seen this film 4 or 5 times, and it's like a music video scene. I think he wanted to be kind of romantic. He wanted to kind of have a little romance in it. But like I said, it's not like it's cringy, like I said, if you watch Wacko, it's terrible. You can't even, it's so offensive and so cringy. Oh my gosh. It's not don't even waste your time on it. What about you? Do you feel like,
so
if you were a teenager in the 80s, what would be your feelings on this? Because you don't have access to Netflix. You technically want to get out of the house and just watch a movie,
Well, okay, and yeah, honestly, for the time period, it fits that. I love that time period of creature creation of that time era. How it's all done by hand. Like you said, there's no CGI, and they had to really be creative to even try and capture what they were thinking of, you know.
$200,000. This is what you get for $200,000, basically.
Back then, probably, I don't know what you'd get now for that.
Yeah, I could do it, but like I said, I don't have access to big names, and I think the thing is with Greydon Clark, like he put Clu Gallagher and George Kennedy in there, who are, I mean, George Kennedy's obviously miscast. Let's put it this way, but he was miscast in Wacko. But apparently he's friends with George. I guess him and George are good friends or something, because he's able to get George in several films. But, I don't know. Maybe George is just not picky on what he stars in. That's all I can think of. He's in Naked Gun, and he's in Airport 75, and those are those are night and day. And George is, if that's his humor, I mean, if you watch his humor, I just don't get George Kennedy's humor stuff. But he was in a lot of horror films in the 80s like this, like low budget ones. Not a lot of them, but there's another one he did too about the Bigfoot monster that turns out to be an alien. So, which is another one we might want to watch sometime. But
Harry and the Hendersons?
No, it's not Harry and the Hendersons. It's actually a Bigfoot horror film where the Bigfoot monster turns out to be an alien. Not making this up. True story. I'm done here. So, but like I said, I don't know what to say. So, would you guys watch another bad film that is good or not after this?
Oh yeah.
Nate, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen worse films that I watched and I just didn't enjoy, So, like, the fact that this was a bad movie, but it was still, like, watchable, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good enough for me. I mean, it's like, I don't know what this is an experiment, because it's kind of like, because I feel like it's safe. I don't feel like I'm exposing, like, y'all to really something bad, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I feel like it was fun. And like I said, I can watch this film and I feel like it's fun, and that's what the important thing is. And another one, though, really would be like Troll 2. I've never seen anything like that in my life. But, we'll see what's going on, because it's going to be your guys' turn next. So, I'm picking the film. All right,
maybe we'll have to pull a really bad one out.
Oh my gosh, we've reached our time limit. And let's see, yeah, because, according to this, we went 19 minutes over. It's your fault, kid. You're drunk.
That's okay, you can pick
You're
and
right.
You're right.
You are right, baby.
You are right. Alright, peace. I'm out of here, guys. I don't know what these guys might want to discuss, so we'll turn this thing off and put it into the savings thing here.
Who's your daddy?